Edwin M. Lee, Prefecto de São Francisco. Edwin M. Lee, an affordable housing advocate and technocrat who became the first Asian American to be elected as mayor of San Francisco, died early on Tuesday of undisclosed causes, his office said. He was 65. It is with profound sadness and terrible grief that we confirm that Mayor Edwin M. Lee passed away on Tuesday, December the 12th at 1:11 a.m. at Zuckerberg San Francisco General Hospital. Family, friends and colleagues were at his side, his office said in a statement. Brent Andrew, the spokesman for the Zuckerberg San Francisco General Hospital and Trauma Center, said Mr. Lee arrived at the hospital in an ambulance at about 10 p.m. on Monday. Mr. Andrew was unable to say what condition Mr. Lee was in when he arrived. But he said that the ambulance had picked up the mayor, along with his wife, who was not a patient, from a residential area of shops and restaurants. Under the city's rules, London Breed, the president of the Board of Supervisors, became the acting mayor. Continue reading the main story. Related coverage. A mayor in the middle of San Francisco's February 24, 2014. Battles in San Francisco, but not in mayoral race November 1, 2015. The Bay Citizen. Mayor Lee's mustache stars in San Francisco race November 5, 2011. The Bay Citizen. In mayoral election, Chinese Americans' growing power is on display November 5, 2011. The Bay Citizen. As Mayor Edwin M. Lee cultivates business, treatment of Baca is questioned March 31, 2012. As mayor, Mr. Lee, who was elected in 2011, presided over a tremendous shift in wealth in the city driven by the technology boom that put San Francisco at the center of global innovation. Rents soared past levels only the wealthiest could afford, an ironic development for Mr. Lee, who began his career fighting for affordable housing. The median home price in San Francisco today is well above $1.1 million and the median rent above $4,500, according to Zillow, the real estate data company. Office rents in parts of San Francisco are higher than in Manhattan. Mr. Lee was born in 1952 in the Seattle neighborhood Beacon Hill, one of 6 children of Chinese immigrants who came to the United States in the 1930s. His mother was a seamstress, his father, a war veteran, died when Mr. Lee was a teenager. In an interview with the New York Times last year, Mr. Lee said he had been drawn to San Francisco for its diversity and tolerance. California, particularly San Francisco, has always been an opening, welcoming atmosphere. That's kind of what drew me here, he said. Being born and raised in Seattle, I wanted to get away from the rain and of course sunny California was attractive. But the main attraction was a kind of feeling that freedom of expression and maybe a person of a different ethnic background could be welcomed and succeed. Mr. Lee said he felt responsible as mayor for maintaining San Francisco as an international beacon. People come here to innovate, they want to have the ideas, they want to challenge themselves with different languages and different cultures and be successful at the same time, he said. The mayor was a symbol of the city's changing demographics from a white majority to what the mayor called a majority of minority groups. Whites made up 42% of the population in the 2010 census, while Asians constituted a third of the population, Latinos around 15% and African Americans 6%. Mr. Lee became mayor in January 2011 when, after weeks of disputes, the Board of Supervisors elected him by a 10-1 vote as the interim leader of a city in which roughly a third of the residents are of Asian descent. After consistently expressing a reluctance to hold the job of mayor on a permanent basis, Mr. Lee entered the electoral race in August 2011 and was elected in November, becoming mayor at a time of tremendous change for the city as the technology industry became increasingly influential. Mr. Lee received a full scholarship and matriculated at Bowdoin College. After graduating, he moved to the Bay Area in 1975 to study law, and quickly became involved in the housing issues that would define his early career. His understanding of Cantonese and Thai Shizare helped him to win the trust of immigrant communities on whose behalf he fought as part of the San Francisco Asian Law Caucus. After a decade, he left that organization and proceeded to work in 5 different city departments under 4 different mayors. In 1991, he became the city's Human Rights Commissioner, and in 2005, was appointed city administrator. At his first swearing-in, in 2011, he commented on his rise from housing advocate to virtually unknown civil servant to city leader. "Decades ago, I was about as anti-establishment as one could be," he said. "But today, like you, I'm trying to make the establishment work for all San Franciscans." He is survived by his wife, Anita, and his 2 daughters, Tanya and Bria. Mr. Lee easily won re-election in 2015, but 2 years later was struggling under the housing issues that are again weighing on the city. Residents projected their frustrations about the city's affordability onto the mayor. A column in the San Francisco Chronicle in May, headlined "Where's Ed Lee, Our Fading Mayor?" questioned his ability to contend with the challenges facing the tech hub. Lee lacks the dynamic and visionary leadership that it takes to manage the explosive growth that's been rocking San Francisco in recent years, the columnist, David Talbot, wrote. As a result, the city seems less affordable and more difficult to live in than ever. But Mr. Lee could still be forceful on issues that mattered to him, and he retained his passion for immigrant rights. In January, in his State of the City address, he insisted that San Francisco would remain a sanctuary city now, tomorrow, forever.